something we can share together.
I can't be silent anymore. I can't keep watching anymore. What's dear to me is dear to my God. I can't shed more tears, I know it's time to fight. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best. Punished for protecting them. Where is the justice in all that? Our voices rise because our love is deep. Return the innocent, hear our hearts beat. Yeah, yeah. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once let us be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best.
Hey everybody. Well, this is going to be a very hard story to tell today. I'm seeing all of your Facebook posts all over, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you that knew Shannon. I did not know Shannon, although my heart is heavy and it breaks because she is representative of so many people, so many mothers and fathers out there suffering from family court abuse. And I just felt that my schedule has quadrupled, and I just felt that it was beyond urgent to get this story out today, and to tell this story, and to have, I actually have on here today, I'm trying to, hold on a second, I have on here today one of her best friends anonymously today, because of the story, and also I have Marty Lynch on as well today. If you just give me a moment, though, we're having a little tech issue right now. There they are. Okay, tech issue cleared up. Thank God. So we want to be able to, first of all, number one, I personally want to be able to give Shannon all the dignity in the world. You know, we see a lot of things. People talk sometimes. People get misinformation. You know, we know every day of our lives, judges are not getting correct information, and they're rendering horrific decisions that are clearly harming lives all over the place. Harming the lives of children, harming the lives of countless. We can't even count the amount of families that have been harmed and abused by this diabolical, evil, and wicked system. And the reason that I have put in gear the now global Citizens Arrest Day coming up January 3rd, because we've found no remedy. We found no remedy. We just know that the problem exists. The problem is true. Millions of people can't be all coming up with the same story that they're being abused all over the place. You know, we see countless children abused and killed in foster care. And we see family after family. And all we can do is just continue to expose these judges for what they are, and these child predator service caseworkers for what they are. Because story after story, family after family, the integrity of the family unit has been utterly devastated. And it's up to us to put a stop to it. I'm going to actually start, before I put Marty on, I have my anonymous guest here right now. And hope you guys can see this. I'm going to have her lay a little foundation. Her name is, we're going to go by Jane Doe. Hello and welcome, Jane Doe. I'm very close with this person as well. Jane, welcome. Let me unmute. I'm sorry. Well, welcome, Jane, and thank you for being here today.
There's a lot of background noise. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. So,
okay.
It's actually it's something from your end. I'm not quite sure why, but when you speak, it's clear. It's okay. So why don't you lay a little bit of foundation, because you know her very, very well, Shannon. And you know, we just want to set the record straight without saying too much. We just pretty much want to give the story as it is, and then you guys, the viewing audience, can come up with your own conclusion with this story. But go ahead.
Well, there is a lot of background noise. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're actually coming in nice and clear when you talk.
Okay, good. Because there's a lot of echoes on my end, but before I start, I need to say that for my own legal purposes and my protection, that this is just my personal opinion, and these events have allegedly happened. I have been very good friends with Shannon. We've been in the same fight for many years. I know her very well. Our children are friends. I can tell you she was a warrior. She was a fighter. She may have been little, but you can't let that fool you, because she was very, very feisty. She was very strong, and she was tough. And she fought with everything she had. And I've been right beside her for quite some time to bring justice and to regain custody of her daughter. Things were finally, for the first time in 3 years, looking up for Shannon. I can tell you that she was involved in trying to regain custody of her two sons. I can tell you a little bit of background. Her story with her daughter. One of these judges, everyone knows, who's been involved, he illegally took her daughter, who had absolutely no legal, biological birthright to her daughter, and he gave her daughter to her boyfriend. Shannon was never married to him. She did have two sons with this man. I can tell you that when Shannon was pregnant with his son, he put her in the hospital. And this is documented. This is facts. Supports everything. He hurt her, and bad enough to put her in the hospital. And also, the facts report state that Angelina, her daughter, was in the midst of it, and she was kind of trying to come protect her mom, and so he slammed Angelina's face in the door, and that's why to this day she has a mark over her eye, and it started to cause her to have paralysis even growing up as a child. This is all documented. Again, I only can speak factually because it's just horrific what they get away with. It's amazing to me. He was a domestic abuse survivor. And this judge that gave illegal custody, again, of her daughter, who had no legal biological right to her, to the boyfriend, because he was the father of the two boys. So Shannon fought for many years. She went to the appellate court finally. Her case was overturned and a miracle happened, and they gave her back Angelina. Again, I can tell you, she pretty much from that point held the keys to the kingdom. She confided in me about a lot of things. I knew about a lawsuit that she was involved in underground. I told my friend many times that people show you who they are and to be careful what you say. And unfortunately, it got out that she went on a blog talk radio in September of 2017, and he had filed a $200 million lawsuit against this judge, against the state. This is again factual. And he basically, again, she held the keys to the kingdom. The appellate court had turned over their ruling in favor of Shannon. And she, along with her, she had a lot of evidence and facts, because you have to have facts in this. You can't have hearsay. So the last conversation that I had with Shannon was a few days before this happened. She had confided in me that she had been noticing she was followed. She was not safe in the location that she was in, and I told her she needed to get out. She had met this guy. I'm not really sure legally what I can say about it right now. You can guide me, Francesca, if I can mention their names.
The guy that she met? The name of the guy that she met?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. The name of the guy that she met, you're saying? To say it or not?
Yes.
I would wait.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all.
I would wait. I know that there's a weird noise between us.
Yeah.
But when you
This is
speak,
core for the core.
yeah. But when you speak, you're nice and clear. So,
Okay. Well, I can just tell you the last conversation I had with her. We'll just go with that. She had met this guy, or this guy had met her. And basically she told me that she was kind of taken back. She was talking to him, but she told me that she was uncomfortable with the fact that he knew so much information about her.
Actually, if you have his name, go ahead and tell us what this bozo's name is.
His name is Ryan Mock.
Okay.
And I can tell you,
I think we need to have it out there for people, any other women out there, Ryan Mock. So go ahead.
I can tell you that she was having kind of a relationship with him, not going to really go down that road, but they were talking. She confided in me that she was
Too late.
just kind of uneasy about the fact that he knew her and so much about her. And I told her to be careful. I said, again, people show you who they are. Pay attention to what he's saying. And he was very leery about the fact that he just kind of showed up out of nowhere, and the fact that he knew so much about her already. I can tell you that the conversation that we had, again, she was saying about the fact that she was being followed. This was not an unusual occurrence, because this happens and people can say what they want, but this is a fact.
Right.
That she knows it was getting so obvious that people were riding by her house. She just knew she wasn't safe. I even prayed with her. It was that crazy. And again, I told her she needed to get out of that city. She needed to get out of there. So she was in the process of doing that. And she
Right.
was supposed to call me, and I never heard back from her. And I found out why. Because apparently, this guy Ryan Mock, something that people need to understand is these were the last people he was associated with, and his body was found the Friday.
Oh, his
Well, her
body.
body was found.
His body was found.
Yes.
Okay, his body was found.
I don't. Yeah. Oh yeah. There. I don't know factually what is going on with that. All I know is that he wound up dead. I mean, they found his body. It is being investigated as we speak. However, you know how that goes. And the same correlation, and same pattern happened with Shannon.
So now, okay. So now, here's the thing. They also found her body.
I can't.
They found.
I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
So,
I'm gonna speak up. They found her body, right? I want you to tell me about her a little bit because you said that they found her body. Where?
well, the strange thing about it is the fact that this girl again. Can I mention the girl's name? Would that be okay?
No, not the girl.
Okay.
But tell me where they found her body.
The girl that had involvement with Ryan Mock, I can say him. She was the last one known to be alive with Shannon. I can tell you factually that Shannon had just met her again through acquaintance with Ryan. Shannon was on her way after she had dropped off her daughter, Angelina, at her dad's house, at Angelina's grandfather's house, Shannon's dad's house. He told Angelina that he had to go take care of a friend, had to go help a friend. Angelina persisted because Angelina said she had a very bad feeling about this person. And she said, please let me go with you, Mom. And she said, no. She said, it's not safe. I'm just going to go run this errand and then I'm coming back. Now, I can tell you that through text messages from this woman that was involved with the last time frame of Shannon's life, the last one to see her alive, the one that was directly with her when she was died. I can tell you that Shannon was bringing her diapers for her baby. I can tell you that apparently Shannon again had met her that evening for the first time face to face. That this woman claimed that she was talking with Shannon when Shannon arrived in the living room. And apparently all of a sudden, Shannon just started feeling woozy. And her recollection is that Shannon said she needed to lay down because she was not feeling well. I can tell you that this girl has changed her story so many times. There's one reference that Shannon went and laid down on this woman's bed, and she laid down face down with her arm above her head. and the girl stated she covered her up and she had left, which is, she had sent Shannon a message through Messenger at this point, and this is factual. Hey Shannon, I know that you were feeling kind of out of it, LOL, but I'm gonna borrow your car to go run an errand, and I'll be back to check on you. This was at 10:51 p.m. Saturday evening. I know that, again, that's factual. She stated that another story was she had laid, I'm sorry, it's hard to talk about it.
I know.
She had laid in the bed and fell asleep by Shannon that night, and she stated that Shannon was dead all night, and I lay beside her body, and I didn't know until I woke up in the morning. She also stated that she had gone back after she came back from taking Shannon's vehicle to check on Shannon, and the eerie thing about it is she said, I cut her hand, and it was still warm.
Very strange.
And she also stated that she had to clean up the blood, Shannon's blood, off of her mattress. So again, her story changes. I can tell you that it's all over Shannon's Facebook. Other people have been involved in this. I can tell you this woman is on the run as we speak. I can tell you that she has Shannon's purse, that she has Shannon's vehicle, that the police are looking for her.
Well, if the police are looking for her, then you can give her name. I didn't realize that. You can absolutely give her name then.
Her name is Casey Lynn.
Say it again. Say it again.
I know. I've got so much static on my end.
That's okay.
Her name is Casey Lynn.
Casey Lynn. Casey Lynn. Casey Lynn. So they're saying...
I know that there was a guy that Shannon, there's text messages through Messenger and everything from Angelina, her daughter.
Casey Lynn. Casey Lynn. They're asking her name. Casey Lynn. Her name is Casey Lynn.
For questioning because she was the last person who was around Shannon, and she was just not there. Her vehicle, she has Shannon's vehicle, she has Shannon's purse. I can tell you that there was money in Shannon's purse again. I can tell you she has, it's just, the story keeps changing, Francesca, with, there's just, until we find this girl and they kind of put her hand to the fire, I don't know what truth is going to come.
Right.
But I know it will come. I can tell you there was a guy, again, that Shannon had messaged that, I'm not going to mention his name, but they were supposed to meet up through the same girl that evening. And that was the last time anyone heard from Shannon.
Okay, so I just want to know where they're claiming they found her body. This is the most important part, and why.
They found her body in this girl was apparently her residence was known as a drug house in South Carolina.
And tell me about Shannon. Shannon does not do drugs, correct?
No. Nope. Shannon does not do drugs. I mean, it's that's why it is so
shocking,
unfathomable, this whole situation, because I can tell you as her friend, Shannon, nobody's perfect. I understand that, but Shannon was not a drug user.
Right.
This girl, Casey Lynn, even made a comment that she tried to say that Shannon had a spoon in her purse.
Right.
And she had even inquired the fact that Shannon was doing heroin. And I'm sorry, but again, that's a lie. Shannon does not do drugs.
Right. And this is why we wanted to tell this. This is the main reason we wanted to tell this story as well. It's very important. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to.
I can't hear you.
No, it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute you now. I'm going to mute you because of the background noise. And I'm going to bring on Marty now, Marty Lynch. Actually, I'm going to. I'm hearing the noise on your end, Marty, too.
You're a little faint, but I can make you out.
Okay, but for some reason I'm hearing it on your end because I muted her, and it should be gone by now, and it's not. I find it kind of strange. I want to talk about like what we have, the other information we have about this cremation part, and why a toxology report needs to be done on her, and what you feel about that, Marty.
Well, it's kind of a pattern that we typically see, and I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to throw out.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to tell you one more thing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Excuse me 1 second. This is important.
That's okay.
I do know that they are pushing for a cremation.
Right. We're discussing that now.
He is going to have a open viewing Saturday morning, but I do know for a fact they are pushing for cremation as soon as that is over, and they're not in agreement with it. They know that, you know, her family, of course, is just wondering why they're pushing so hard to get through this. And again, I can confirm they are trying to have a cremation for her.
Right, and this is what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
This is a typical pattern that we see. If you look at, and I'm just going to throw some names out, Steve Bannon, that would be Andrew Breitbart. I got the two mixed up. Antonin Scalia was a justice on the Supreme Court that mysteriously died here just in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We've got Tom Clancy, and there's any number of different people that die under mysterious circumstances. And there's one of the ways that these covert agencies deal with people that they need to dispose of is they simply poison them. And arsenic is one of their favorites, apparently, because they said that one of the guys, they looked at him and his skin was a bright red color, and so that's a sign of arsenic poisoning. And so typically this is what we see that's common to these kinds of things, because this lady here now, we don't know all of her circumstances, but there are some things that stand out. She had actually broken through this brick wall that we know of as these tyrannical courts, and they were then vulnerable to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit as a result of their abuses,
right?
Which they were unable to cover up anymore, and they'd lost control of the thing. So to make that lawsuit disappear, it stands to reason. I'm just speculating, of course, but it stands to reason that if the plaintiff in the lawsuit disappears, well, then the lawsuit disappears.
Mm-hmm.
So she simply became a marked person.
There you go.
And you also keep in mind that this is the same state that produced the corpse of Nancy Schaefer, her husband, their videographer, all committing suicide on the same day at different places. Murder-suicide with Nancy Schaefer. The problems these people are running into now is we just don't believe any of this stuff is coincidental anymore.
Right.
Okay. We know what we're dealing with. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it was I heard just recently is somebody made a statement. I wrote it down here. It is inevitable that a people will revolt against a corrupt leader. And the people aren't looking at these courts anymore with anything other than just eyes wide open.
Yeah, thank you for that,
no
Marty.
hiding what they're doing.
Yes, Marty, thank you. Yep.
When you look at the crime of, if you look at a crime and punishment of getting pulled over for getting a warning versus over here, a 10, like being sent to the gas chamber, okay? That spectrum there, where would you put having your children taken away from you and never getting to see them again? Would it be down here where
Whew.
you get a warning?
Whoa.
And it's like, okay, well, I'll try not to make that mistake again, officer. Or up here, where you're going to the gas chamber. And for most people, you know, they'll do anything for their children. And these guys know it, and that's how they get the money. Okay, and so now what you've got is a penalty of taking people's children away from them, only we're not giving them any kind of thing, anything that resembles due process. We have judges making these decisions arbitrarily, and according to the rules of court, they don't even have to listen to your evidence. You don't have to have it. You're not required to be provided with an attorney. And if you do, the attorney works for the state. We've got all this federal money that's driving all these incentives to take these children away. You know, it's just a systemic thing that is just completely out of conformity with anything that resembles the Constitution, and how our government is supposed to work. And so right now, what we're pushing is, number one, I understand that there's problems in this particular case where they surveil you, okay, and they hack your phone, they hack your email, all these different kinds of things, and that kind of stuff is, you know, it requires a FISA warrant, and come to find out that during the investigation here, since we got our new administration, one of the things they're discovering is that the FISA warrants are being granted with partial evidence. They don't tell the judge the whole story. And then the other thing that they're doing is a lot of the surveillance is, over half their surveillance is being done. They don't even bother to get a warrant. They just do it. And so there's these local police agencies. What's stopping them from just running around and tapping everybody's phones and hacking everybody's computers and harassing them if they don't like what they do, or any of that kind of stuff? So these are holes in the system that are going to have to be plugged. And so the other thing is that on November 17th, which I think is a Friday, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have my calendar in front of me. Jeff Sessions gave a speech at the Federalist Society, and it's a very interesting speech. I'm sure you can find it online. And he said, we've got so many letters here directing from the Department of Justice, the former Department of Justice, directing people to do things that are obviously in violation of the Constitution.
Right.
And he said, we went around and tried to pull these letters together and send out corrections and stuff. And he said, well, here's what we have to do. We have to do this. We don't know where all these letters are, but they say all these letters, these directive letters, are now void and unenforceable. If you have one of those from the former Department of Justice, throw it out. It doesn't even belong here. It just get rid of it. And so then he said, judges are going to start to follow the Constitution. That's what you're going to do. Yep. And if you have a problem conforming with that, then we have an enforcement action that we're going to deal with. So that's been recognized by the current administration as a problem with the judges, running amok. And then the other thing that happened on the following day, which I think was the 18th, is that we had U.S. Marines, and this is not in the mainstream media anyplace, but it can be corroborated from multiple sources online. It looks like that we had U.S. Marines surrounding and storming the CIA headquarters at Langley, Virginia. And they went in there apparently exploiting hard drives and downloading all kinds of data from that organization. And keep in mind, the CIA, most of what they do, 80% of what they do is secret. Okay, so when you have secret anything, any kind of government that's secret, well, guess what that's going to turn into inevitably? Okay, problems. Okay, and so and this goes to child trafficking, pedophilia, treason, election fraud, charity fraud. These are some of the big ones that they're looking at right now. And they also surrounded and went and took over the FBI building, the Hoover building in D.C. So they went through the FBI files to see what they could find there. Now the third leg of this stool is the NSA has every email that everybody's ever written and every phone call that anybody's ever done for the last 10 years on file in their database. And so with the FISA warrant, any government agency can go in there and create a picture of who all is talking to who about what, and where that web leads, both in this country and international. And so then the last piece of the puzzle that looks like it's starting to develop is that a month ago they were talking about somewhere around 1,200 to maybe 1,500 sealed indictments where they've already got probable cause, and a grand jury's already said that this prosecution can go forward. Now the numbers that we're starting to hear is 5,000 or more sealed indictments, and that these things are going to be served on these people by the Marines. Some people are already wearing ankle bracelets apparently, and so the question then for us in this business here in our movement becomes, how much of this problem is going to take care of itself in the next 30 to 60 days? Because when you look at some of these criminal activities that are going on, there's no way that there's not going to be one single judge out of these 5,000 people. Okay, and then after the smoke clears is when we go back and say, whatever else we need to deal with that we need to address, then we can go back and take care of it. Because right now it's like you don't know what the landscape's going to look like in another 30 to 60 days. These people that are doing these illegal surveillances, like we see in this case,
right?
And then Scalia is a good example. He died in Texas. Nobody knows anything about how that happened because nobody will talk. The coroner's report, an autopsy was never done, and then the body was hurry up and embalmed. They shuffled the body to another county where they did not collect the bodily fluids, because in the county where he died, they collect and have for examination the bodily fluids, and those things are disposed of. So any poisons or anything would be on available for an investigation, or any tissue samples. That's the other thing they have to get rid of. So what they did is they took him to a different county, where in that county they just take the bodily fluids and they go right in the sewer. And so that's where the embalming was done, and then right after that he was cremated. So now you've got no tissue samples, you've got no autopsy, you've got no bodily fluids, and all the evidence is gone. So it's in my mind, if they follow the pattern that they've established in other cases, that's what they're going to try to do in this case. And so the only thing that we can really do is, I've called Fox 45, I've called the Augusta Chronicle and spoken with those people, and the Augusta Chronicle didn't know a thing about it. And I called Fox 45, and they said, "Oh, everybody knows about it. Everybody's investigating everything." And I said, "Oh yeah, right. I'm sure you're right." And of course, I know he doesn't know what he's talking about. And so you can pretty much be assured that the police are likely compromised. The media, they can be controlled, they can be penetrated, and they probably have. So it basically is going to turn into, without this wild card business going on in D.C., we would have a straight shot to do whatever it is that we need to do to fix the problem. But right now, I don't even know if the leadership of the judiciary in any given state is going to be intact 30 to 60 days from now. there's no way to tell.
So Marty, I want to make
that's just
Mar-
what I've.
Marty, I just want to clear up one thing though, because I'm the main concern here is Shannon and the fact that we don't want to see her cremated. And I'm sorry, the main thing is that we don't want to see Shannon cremated. But I just want to make something clear. Hold on a second, just a moment.
That's fine. You're okay. I can hear you.
Just a moment. Just a moment.
It's all right.
I'm going to be muting myself, so please hold. I do want to just make one thing clear in regards to potential.
That, and and somebody should be doing an autopsy. There's probably been no autopsy done. Whoa, we forgot. Hey.
Right. Well, that's what we're here to talk about too. The fact that there needs to be an autopsy done, and to get to the bottom of that. And just excuse me because you're not going to hear me for a moment, Marty, because I'm putting it on mute right now. Hold on, please.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll talk.
Well, no. What I'm saying is I'm going over to a different format. Hold on one moment. Just a moment. I just want to make something clear that we have not seen anything on the news about Marines doing a raid in Langley, and other veterans are here saying that they don't believe that the Marines would go in and do such a raid. I don't want to put anything out there that's not accurate truth. My main concern here, this particular story today, is about Shannon. She should not be cremated. We do need to know that there is in fact that she's not cremated, that we do get to the bottom of this. That is the reason for this particular show today. I do want to show this also real quick.
Now, why, again, Katie, you sat down with the mother. Why has she filed the complaints?
Wendy, I spoke with Shannon Baskin and her lawyer, and they both say there are several instances of an abuse of power when handling the custody case. But the biggest flaw of all to Baskin is that Judge Roper awarded custody of her daughter to an ex-boyfriend who had no biological or legal ties to the child, and she wants to know why.
What matters is what is right and what is wrong, what is just and what is unjust. And what is just is to have my daughter be with me.
Gary Hill has never been a stepfather to her. He's never been an adopted father, and he's not her biological father. They have no legal relationship whatsoever.
A child taken from her mother and placed with a man she barely knows. A ruling that Shannon Baskin and her attorney are still trying to wrap their heads around. Judge Roper was the presiding judge in Shannon Baskin's custody battle, and Baskin's attorney says in the final months of the case, there were flagrant violations of the law when Judge Roper was on the stand. In a complaint filed with the Judicial Qualification Committee, Riley states that Judge Roper would not release audio from a temporary hearing from July 2014, where the transcripts did not match what actually happened in the courtroom.
He's sitting here saying, okay, you have a concern that the audio or the transcripts might be altered. Well, you want to exonerate yourself. You want to give exculpatory, say, oh, sure, here you go. Maybe there was a mistake. We're not expecting him to be perfect.
Another example Riley cites in her complaint is, quote, the court goes on to advocate for the defendant, making excuses for his domestic violence conviction.
Judge Roper comes in the interim order playing defense attorney regarding the proceedings that happened in 2007 during Mr. Hale's plea hearing. And the fact that Judge Roper is coming in and playing defense attorney and justifying that, no excuse for it. None.
In the interim order, Judge Roper states, quote, Baskins claims to be the victim of long-term domestic violence at the hands of Hale. There is no evidence of this contention except one incident in 2007 when Baskin was pregnant with William. Hale was arrested for family violence battery. Hale entered a no-low plea to a reduced charge of battery and was sentenced as a first offender. Judge Roper goes on to say, quote, the court finds that Hale was most likely acting in self-defense, but in anger handled Baskin roughly. These photos are of the bruises Baskin suffered to her back in the incident Roper found to be a self-defense situation. The final order granted Hale custody of the three children, including Baskin's biological daughter, citing Hale as the father.
Roper names Gary Hill all through it as her father. I thought father meant biological. I thought father meant stepfather. I thought father meant a not an ex-boyfriend.
Also in the final order, a gag order issued by Judge Rober for all parties, preventing all parties from talking about the case for 11 years, specifically on the form suspicion that Rober altered transcripts. The gag order says, quote, plaintiff, defendant, and their attorneys are hereby restrained and enjoined from putting, placing, or causing to be placed any allegation that any transcript in this case has been altered upon or in any social media, website, or other public medium, or speaking or corresponding with any print, radio, television media about any such allegation. Riley has challenged the gag order in federal court and filed the petition on April 20th. Before the custody was granted, Hale owed Baskin a total of $12,299.37, an amount that, according to Judge Roper, Hale no longer had to pay to Baskin after he was granted custody. In May 2015, Baskin and her attorney filed an appeal of the permanent injunction with the Supreme Court of Georgia, and they also appealed the custodial issues to the Court of Appeals. And as Baskin waits for an answer, all she wants now is justice.
When you're a mother and your very best that you could do as a human being is not good enough,
Strong, baby, strong.
it'll break you to your core. This is bigger than just Shannon Renee Baskin. It's bigger than my children and my family. This is for all families who have gone through it before me and who are to go through it while I'm going through it and who is to come.
When I called Judge Roper to see if he would respond to these allegations, he simply said, quote, I cannot talk about an open custody case, and hung up the phone. I also reached out to Hale, and he told me he was not able to talk to me about the case at this time due to the gag order issued by Judge Roper. We will continue to follow this story for updates, and for more stories on the Augusta family court system, head over to WFXG.com and click under the news section. We'll be right back after this.
So, as we all know, this is what is going on all over our nation. Please let's not let her life and her now death be in vain. I just want to reiterate the importance, and I have her friend here. She's muted now, but you know, hysterically crying to hear her voice, and you know, it's heartbreaking. I deal with these stories 24 hours a day. I'm dealing with my own core team who are not seeing their children. All I can say is, guys, we have to do this. It's up to us to do this. It's up to us to put a stop to this. I'm going to go ahead and try to play what I didn't get the opportunity of playing before because the computer cut it out. I'm going to actually turn off Zoom right now in order to get a better, you know, better signal to my own laptop here. So I'm going to say thank you to my guests right now. Thank you to my guests. We're going to be closing this out, and my heart is with you. Let me just close this down so we cannot miss this. This is very important. This was put together by Luciana Constantino yesterday. It is an amazing piece that she did. And we give the screen credit at the end too, because we have a music artist. Let me just make sure I have his name right here. Excuse me a second. Well, we'll show you the screen credit at the end. I'm sorry, I don't have the moment to do this right now. Eddie Nesta, thank you for the permission and the song. Get up, stand up. Okay, so guys, one more story, guys. One more story. One more alienated parent. One more abused child. One more dead child. One more dead mother. One more dead father. What's it going to take, guys? Please. We do this work literally around the clock. All the advocates everywhere. We literally don't sleep. Many times don't eat. Just constant. Because we need to put a stop to this once and for all. And we need all of you. We need all of you so this stops. This has to stop. It's not up to them. It's up to us. It's up to us. Thank you for listening.
In the death of a local woman, Shannon Baskins was found dead over the weekend at an apartment complex in North Augusta. News Channel 6's Stephanie Bornman is digging deeper into Baskins' untimely death.
Jenny, according to investigators, this woman is a person of interest because she was allegedly the last person to have been with Baskins. However, at this time, the female in this picture can't be located, and she's believed to be driving Baskins' car.
I think the most difficult thing is there's no real explanation.
Police found Shannon Baskins dead at an apartment here over the weekend. Her van, similar to this one, is missing, and the last person to have seen her alive is nowhere to be found. Gary Hale, Baskins' ex-boyfriend and the father of her two sons, says everyone is desperate for answers about what led to Baskins' strange death.
I mean, there was no physical foul play or anything like that.
While the family waits for the results of a toxicology report, the search continues for the white Dodge van with Georgia tag SAC 9094. Police believe this woman, who goes by Casey Lynn on Facebook, has the car and was the last person to have seen Baskins alive. News Channel 6 has learned Lynn is not wanted in connection to Baskins' death at this time, but investigators hope she can provide a timeline of the night Baskins died. Hale has since taken to social media pleading for help from the community to find Lynn. He says answers will give his family closure.
Now she is survived by her 3 children. I mean, how devastating is this? And you sort of having to explain to them.
Telling them was the hardest thing I've ever done. Our life had really gotten to normal. They were seeing their mom regularly. Things were, from all accounts, things were good over there.
If you have any information, pick up the phone and call North Augusta Public Safety. Baskins' funeral is on Saturday at the Roland Ford Funeral Home in North Augusta. Back to you.